Hello, first violinist of LDV. Okay, tonight we're talking about the Brandenburg. I have made some seriously long videos for your other cohorts, so I'll try to keep this short, but you know me, I have lots to say. All right. Okay, so we're going to start off with this. Key signatures. Okay, remember we were kind of talking about that in class this week, but I want to kind of review it for you so that way you can kind of soak it in and at your own leisure, so to speak. I want you to look and find your treble clef on your Brandenburg. The treble clef, the S. Okay, so you have your treble clef, and then right to the right of that is your key signature. You have tic-tac-toes, hashtags, those are sharps. Okay, sharps make notes go higher. If you can't remember, if you step on a sharp, you jump up really high, because it hurts, right? So sharps make notes go really high, all right? The other accidentals we have are flats. They look like the slanty B's. When you're on a bike and your tire goes flat, you go lower and lower and lower as your tire goes flat. Flats go lower. Naturals are kind of depends on from where you're coming. If you have an F sharp and suddenly you have an F natural, well, it's going to negate the sharp, meaning you're going to go lower now, right? You're going to lower that F sharp to an F natural, low F. If it's an F flat and you're going to a natural, then you're going to raise it because you're negating whatever was previous, right? So if it's a flat, goes natural, you're going to go higher. Okay? All right. If you remember nothing else from this conversation, remember sharps make notes go higher. And if you look at your key signature in Brandenburg, the slanty square part of the hashtag is, the first one is on the top line of the staff. So just like a note, it sits right in the middle. That's an F. We have an F sharp, and the next one is a C sharp. And that is important for you guys for a different reason than the second violins. The second violins have all kinds of low notes, and that C sharp means something. For you, it means that things are fairly regular because the C sharp on the A is a normal high 2, right? F sharp on the D, that's a normal high 2. F sharp on the E, that's a first finger, that's a normal first finger, okay. But we're not having a G sharp, right? You only have 2 sharps in that key signature, fish and cat, as I tell my little kids. You don't have a goat. You don't have a G. So on the E string, we have to do a low 2, a G natural. I keep having trouble finding the camera. There you go. You see how my 1 and my 2 are touching? So if you are on the E string, you should be playing a low 2. Don't play a high 2 because it sounds really bad. Okay? This is in the key of G major. If you play a G sharp, you can only guess. That will be very bad. So G natural, low 2 on the E string. Say it with me. Low 2 on the E string. Don't play a high 2. Please. Okay. All right. So we've got our low 2 on the E string. That's squared away. Pretty much the beginning, you guys know how to play. You've been playing it really wonderfully. I don't think we need to go over that really that much. Let's jump to measure 8. So here's where that C sharp means something. So if you are ever on the G string, which you actually rarely are, the seconds are doing that most of the time. If you are on the G string and you are playing a C, it has to be a C sharp, and that is a high 3. Okay? If you're on the G string and you're playing a C sharp, it is a high, there we go, high 3. I was telling the second violins, this makes a W. I don't know why I can't find the camera. A W pattern, meaning there's whole steps between all your fingers. So you're on the G string, you are playing a high 3. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and back up so you can hear it. And if you want to practice it or listen to it a bunch, that way you can hear it. I'm going to start on 8, 7, 6, 5. The pickup to measure 5, and then I'll scream out high 3 when I get to that C sharp. You ready? 2, 3. High 3. All the other 3s are normal, but not on the G string. You have a high 3. Okay, might want to mark that with an arrow up or an H. And then also you might want to mark, when you're on the E string, what kind of 2s do you have? That's right, low 2s. Good job you. Low 2s, mark those. Don't play a high 2 on the E. It sounds pretty terrible, you'll know. fact, let me show you what happens when you play a high 2. Pick up to 5 again. It makes your eyebrows go up. Don't play a high 2 on the E string, please. Play a low 2. Alrighty, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. Your part's actually pretty even keel for a bit. You do have to practice your 8th note runs because sometimes they do a little bit of noodling, but not too bad, right? As long as you play your low 2. Okay. If you look at measure 14, we get some accidentals that don't belong in the key signature. So your key signature has a fish and a cat, an F and a C sharp. Look at the first note of measure 14, C natural. So remember, naturals negate from where they came. So if you're supposed to play a, where's the camera? If you're supposed to play a C sharp, and now we want a C natural, we got to go opposite high, low 2. So again, I would mark your score. I think we marked this already earlier today, but let's mark that as a low 2. Okay? C natural on the A string, low 2. So measure 14 is a low 2. So we're going to go 2, 2, 1, 3. And now if you look at the next note, oh look, C sharp's back. High 2 again. 2, 1, 0, 3. Okay? Accidentals, things that don't belong in the key signature that a composer has added, they last until the end of the measure or until they decide they want to get rid of it and put a sharp there again. So if you look at measure 14, we've got low 2, so 2, 2, 1, 3, high 2, because he wants the C sharp back. Okay? I'm going to play that for you. High 3. All right, good. Let's go forward a wee bit. Not too many difficult things here for your part, actually. The first, it makes sense. It kind of lays itself out really well, and your ear will lead you. At measure 27, another accidental, a G sharp. So in that measure, just that measure, unless he writes it again, which he does, hint, later down the road, it's a high 2 on the E string. So measure 27, I'll play measure 27 to 29. High 2s. High 2. 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so easy peasy, right? Accidentals. I'm going to skip ahead because there's a lot of G sharps, but now you know what to do. I want you to look all the way, let's see, to 38, because here you have some high 3s, and we have high 3s. If you look at the first note of 38, it's a G what? Sharp. And that sharp's going to last all the way through the end of the measure, okay, unless he writes it again. So we've got a high 3 on the D string in addition to the high 3 on the what? That's right, G string. Okay, so high 3 on the D string, high 3 on the G, high 3. Okay, that happens again if you look a few measures ahead at measure 42. He writes a G sharp again. Okay, we got to play a high 3 on the D string again. High 3, high 3. High 3, high 3, high 3. Okay, gotta change my score. Okay, let's see. I think that's it as far as the accidentals and funny business notes. Occasionally they write what's called a courtesy accidental, and that just means they're reminding you, oh hey, the key signature wants you to play this, but we're going to remind you. So every once in a while they do that. Measure 63 is an example of that. They've written a G natural. We already know it's a G natural from the key signature. They're doing that because in the previous measure you did have a G sharp. Okay? But I think that's it. The main thing for you, first violins, is practice the accidentals, is what we talked about, but gaining your speed. You have the fastest and the most fastest moving section. You're moving a lot. You're playing eighth notes all the time. So look for spots where the pattern is different from what you're used to. A lot of this is just stepwise, right? But every once in a while we might have something like at measure 10, for instance. Measure 9, you're going ba 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 ba, and then all of a sudden measure 10, it's only one note at a time, so it's moving faster. So measure 9. You want to practice that because it's going to come at you pretty quick, okay? So as you're practicing, you don't have to sit and play the whole thing through. Go through maybe one time, run it, find the hard spots, and then just start, focusing on those little hard spots, measure by measure, kind of like what I did for you in this video. All right? Have a good time. Happy practicing.